talking about the attribution model in digital marketing. So in the previous segment, we have talked about various digital marketing strategies, wherein we talked about the email marketing strategies. We talked about various segments that come under your email marketing main genre. So today we'll be talking about that what is an attribution model and how, when deciding upon different marketing strategies, which is the best for a particular company or for a particular brand. So that is decided depending upon the entire framework, that which touch point will result into the maximum credit for the conversion of the touch point or the lead into the final sales. So for that, this is an analysis model which is an evaluative based one and which talks about the entire framework for analyzing that which touch point or marketing channel should receive the credit for a conversion. Now, when we say that which marketing channel should receive the credit for conversion, it basically means whether the social media platform should receive the credit, or the email marketing should receive the credit, or interaction with the chatbot should receive the credit. So, or let's suppose the website interaction should receive the credit, or let's suppose any other third party application through which a customer is routed to the main website, should that receive the credit for the conversion. So, deciding upon which is the best suited one to receive the credit for a conversion, we need to analyze them. We need to analyze various touch points, right? And the analysis is also crucial, reason being because every firm cannot, entirely spend a lot of amount to various marketing channels. It has to strategically decide upon whether it wants to go for the email marketing, or it wants to go for, let's suppose, the website model, or let's say an aggregator model, or any other e-commerce platform. So which model is to choose from, it has to very strategically make those choices. And since it has very limited funds, and we are talking about a digital marketing model which is suited not just for the big sharks but also for the small firms. So for the same, we have to very critically analyze that yes, this is the very touch point onto which the company should spend more, because as we say, the funds are very limited. It cannot spend on to SMS also, it cannot spend on to your email also, or the website, or search engine optimization, or any third party application. So it has to very strategically decide upon that which is the best model where it will receive the best credit. Now we need to diversify, and we need to see across various channels and look into the lead sources, that from where the lead is being generated. Now when we say the lead is being generated, that means, for example, any customer A, he has been to any website, right, of any particular brand Z, right, and by looking onto or by visiting onto that particular website, he feels like, okay, let me just scroll through a little more, let me see its product lines, let me see its product catalogs or the services, and after searching through all the product and the services, the customer goes for a purchase or intend to go for a purchase. So that is its very first touch point through which the lead is generated, and then later on the lead is converted into a proper sales. So we need to see across various channels, and we have to see into that what is the touch point from where the lead is generated. Maybe that person has received an email from any Z brand, right, and while just scrolling through that email, he finds it to be very tempting, looking at the product catalog that is attached along the email. So he does what is, he clicks onto that very link which is given into the email, and then he routes to the main website, right, and by looking into the website, he finds the content to be much more enchanting, the content seems to be very satisfactory, so he finally goes for a purchase. Now we are talking about what is the main touch point, that from where that lead has been generated. So the main touch point has been your email. through which the customer felt tempted. He went to that particular website, scrolled through the entire content, and then made a final purchase. So that is what we say, that one need to diversify and promote its various its marketing strategies or its product lines across various multiple channels, because he cannot resort to one channel, but out of various multiple channels, who are the main one where the entire amount of funds are to be invested, or they need to be flushed into those particular you could say marketing channels. So for the same, we need to see that what are the major your channels that generates a lead. Now whenever when we are onto that creating that customer journey, we need one will be going through multiple touch points where multiple leads will interact with the product or the service. And since, as I said, that the fund is a major thing, we have constraints with respect to the fund also, we have constraints with respect to the time factor also, because the customer will not be giving a longer time to just scroll through your product. He needs to get that click into the mind that yes, this product is somehow good for me, or this is the product which I needed the most, or that creates a need for me, right? So that means the product should be such one, the touch point should be such one, the various out of various multiple touch points that we are referring to, it should be such one that is able to arouse the interest and that is able to create a lead. And as we say that we need to see into that what are the various marketing strategies, or what are the various marketing channels, and accordingly we'll look into that which marketing channel is able to create a lead, right? If let's suppose we are having a website but no person visits the website, then there will be no benefit of creating that website, putting the entire stuff onto the same, if the information with respect to the same is not disseminated. So most important is that the information should be disseminated across multiple channels. Now when we say multiple channels, we have to look into that whether we need to give the those pamphlets, we need to distribute those pamphlets, or we need to go for those email marketing, we need to go for those SMS marketing, or we need to go for some other channel. For example, we need to align our website with the search engines so that it leads to search engine optimization, or we need to go for those paid banner advertisements, or we need to promote on to third party applications. So we have to very strategically decide upon which channel should be focused upon, and which channel should be focused upon can only be decided using this attribution model, because you need to see on to that which is the most important channel which is able to create a lead, and that should be attributed for the same, right? That is why it is known as the attribution model or attribution framework. Now as I said that attribution model, it is the basic assessment and evaluation framework in digital marketing. And when we say assessment and evaluation framework, we mean by that we get the entire list of your different multiple channels which you will be going through, and you will be seeing into that which channels are able to create a prospective lead. They have the capacity to convert a lead into an opportunity and then into a final sale, right? So in short, they are doing what? Attribution models are giving you an assessment and evaluation framework, and it helps the marketing teams, because otherwise for every marketing team to see upon which channel is most effective, or which is the most powerful channel out of various marketing channels being floated, or when the marketing information is being promoted across different stages of the sales funnel. So for the same, an assessment and evaluation framework is required, right? And based on to this assessment and evaluation framework only, one will be able to decide upon, okay, that let me go for this very touch point, let me go for this very channel to promote my product for the future course, right? That means you'll be better able to utilize the funds, you'll be better able to estimate upon your return on investments. And obviously there are various measures, there are various metrics through which you'll be measuring the same. Now, what are the benefits of these attribution models? Because when we are on and on talking about that, they are able to create a lead, or they have the capacity to turn a lead into an opportunity, or an opportunity to the final sales. So we need to see on to that, what are the important benefits of these attribution models, and how the marketers are going to get help from the same, or they are going to get benefit out of the same. So we have pointed out certain points, certain parameters which will help you understand the various benefits of the same. So number one is you have to figure out the efficiency of your channel and touch points. You have to estimate the return on investments and measure matrix. Now, what do we mean by efficiency of your channel? That means whatever amount you are putting up onto a particular channel, whether it is email marketing, whether under your email marketing you are going for thank you mail marketing or drip email marketing, right? Or whether you are sending those video catalogs or images catalog to the customer along with the email, or going for the website development, or going for the search engine optimization, paid banner advertisements, what is their efficiency? Are we able to recover our costs? Are we able to get that much revenues in correspondence to the funds that we have indulged or flushed into that particular channel? So we have to, measure out the same, evaluate the same using some key parameter indicators, right? And those are known as our metrics. Those metrics will help us understand, that how many customers have visited the web page, how many customers have, made a purchase onto the web page, how many customers routed through the third party applications, how much of the customers have opened a mail, how many of them have responded or channelized to the main website through that email only. So accordingly we have to see into that what is the efficiency of various channels, of various touch points that are being used to promote the digital marketing strategies, right? Second point is optimize the spending by redirecting the budget to the marketing efforts that work better. Now, as we say that we have limited funds, we have limited resources, so we have to make an optimization strategy. Let's suppose if I'm having a budget of 5 lakhs only, so I have to strategically plan out that whether I want to flush in the funds to a source, which is email marketing strategy, or I want to go for search engine optimization, or I want to go for SMS, or I want to go for any, let's suppose, digital banners, paid banner advertisements. So I have to very strategically decide upon that how much percent of the budget is to be put on into which marketing channel, because whatever marketing channel is able to, it is helping me out to create a lead, that will be beneficial for me, and that will be able to create a better return on investments. So accordingly we have to optimize the spending by redirecting the budget. For example, let's suppose any source Z, right? That source is not giving me much potential, that is not able to, or that very touch point is not able to create a lead, and this is what I'm witnessing from past so many months, right? Either to revamp the entire channel, or the second choice is whatever funds you are indulging into that touch point Z, you redirect the budget to the source A, which is creating the maximum return on investments. So that should be the entire intent when deciding upon which channel is to be utilized, right? Next it says gain a deeper understanding of the buyer's journey and highlight the part that need improvement. Now, what do we mean by that? That means if the buyer goes through, organic process, let's suppose he, come to know through his friend that this very website is selling the organic produce, right? And he does what is, he, directly visits to your website. And after going through your product line, your service line, he makes a purchase out of the same. So you need to understand this buyer's journey, and you need to see on, when the buyer is making a purchase onto the website, are there any things or are there any segments which the buyer is feeling troubled with, right? Maybe there could be issues with the payment, maybe there could be issues with tracking the assignment, or tracking onto the delivery status, or providing a feedback to the seller. So you need to be very much, cautious about the buyer's journey. You need to see into that what all were the sources which the buyer went through before making a purchase. So if the buyer went through 5 sources before making a purchase, you need to see into which is the most crucial one, where are the major problems are, right? So accordingly you will improvise that particular source, and in case any source which is, giving a better output, again you need to improvise the same. You need to, come up with more, innovative ideas so as to develop the same, right? Lastly is, we can say, design and implement marketing campaigns that are tailored to your buyer personas and their journey. So when we say tailored to buyer personas, that means every buyer is unique in itself, right? Somebody would be preferring it coming through, going through all those reviews which are being shared onto any blog, which are shared onto any, website, and then making a final purchase, right? And maybe some other buyers would prefer receiving a mail because that gives them a personal touch. Maybe some other buyers feel associated when they receive a customized mail, right? And there could be some buyers also who feel very happy when they make any organic search onto your, search browsers. So, and while putting up into any search strings, and if they see that onto the top hits, it is your website which is popping up onto the number 1. And then he makes through that the purchase through that particular website which is popping up as number 1. So accordingly you have to see that yes, you need to improvise onto your SEO strategy, right? So you have to accordingly select various keywords, various search strings. So that means every buyer in itself is very unique, and that is why every marketing campaign has to be tailored according to the buyer's personas, so that the buyer should feel that satisfaction, right? And whenever we are talking about these touch points are basically as the name reflects, these are the points through which that basic touch, that basic interaction is developed between a consumer or a customer and a brand. So if that bridge is, it is built between the customer and the final, brand, so that bridge is created through that touch point. So if you are getting in touch with the ultimate buyer through a website, so that website is what? It is a touch point, right? Now, in marketing, earlier what used to happen, those touch points used to be physical only. For example, you visit any, mall, you visit any store, you have an interaction, a word with the salesperson, you find the things that are being explained by the salesperson to be very, amusing, and that is why you go for a purchase. And when we talk about onto a digital platform, seeing it from a digital perspective, it happens in a way when you visit a website, where you get a person, those you could say genies, or those you could say chatbots which are easily available. You can chat with them, you can seek for any queries of yours, and accordingly if you want to see into the product catalog, you can easily download the same and leave a comment, ask a query. So that can be the crucial touch points through which the interaction begins, right? And the marketers, they learn a lot by measuring those interaction between different individual touch points. Now another thing, it is not a mandate there that there has to be only one touch point. Rather, there will be multiple touch points. As I said that you heard about a product through a friend of yours, so that is a word of mouth that travels, right? Then you did what is, you made a search onto any browser and accordingly saw for the results, and then you went into, let's suppose, those website of the product, and maybe let's, even after scrolling the website, you were not that much tempted that you finally converted a lead into a sale. Rather, after going to the website, you do what is, you also refer to some third party applications, third party websites, and through that you find the reviews to be very good. So then you make a purchase. So the final touch point was the one where you read those reviews before making the final purchase. So you can see herein there were multiple touch points. So we have to see under this attribution model that which is the most effective attribution point and which touch point should be given the maximum credit. Now as reflected onto your screens, you could see that this is a first interaction attribution model wherein 100% credit is given to the first source, right? Whatever touch points came later on, they were not given the attribution, because herein if a company is following this sort of interaction attribution model, it believes that the first very point of interaction is the one who should receive the credit, because through that very point of interaction, the customer felt very tempted. The customer felt like, you could say, making a purchase, or the lead was created only after first interaction. So that is why the first interaction attribution model, it gives the full credit to the first very source. So this is the first touch, or we call it as a first click attribution model, wherein the 100% credit is given to the first touch because it helped in creating that lead, converting that lead into an opportunity, and then that opportunity is created that leads to the further sale of the article, right? And this is how the customer makes the final purchase. So herein, into the first touch attribution model, full of the credit is given to the first touch point, right? So let's suppose you've been through multiple you could say touch points in order to make a purchase. So this very model says that it gives the full credit to the first very point of interaction that the customer had before making a purchase, right? Now supposingly, and you are going for buying any product, let's suppose furniture, and for the same you are looking for such furniture which is a sustainable one, because you feel tempted with the goods which are sustainable or eco-friendly, right? Now whenever I see for eco-friendly and sustainable furniture onto any browser, and whatever the search engine result page comes up with, so I click onto the first very suggestion by the same, and that link will take me up to some other, let's suppose, advertisement that pops up, and the minute I click onto the same, it will take me to the third channel. So multiple touch points were there. So the point here is that in this first touch attribution model, we'll be giving the full credit to the first point through which, that is the search engine result page, through which that lead was created. So this is your first touch attribution model, right? Let's suppose a customer browses through the website and he leaves the website later on, and then they find them the product or the brand onto a social media, go to the website and finally make a purchase. So whatever advertisement he first interacted with, whatever mode of touch point he interacted first with, that will be the very first point or first click model which will be attributed for the same. Now the company will be doing what is, company will be flushing in as much as funds possible to the first point of interaction, so that that gets powerful and that is, has that much potential to convert the lead into a, viable sales. So many firms, they follow this first touch interaction model, and this model basically helps every marketer to understand or to introduce the awareness about the product. So all those business firms who want to sustain into the market for a longer run, they want to build up such a chain of customer which are loyal one, which are a sort of one that yes, this is a loyal set of customers that are going to remain with the brand for a longer period. They will, most preferably be going for the first interaction model. We have a lot of model. We have a last touch model also. We have a linear model, time decay model, and various other models. So we'll be discussing the same after in the short while, and we'll be taking up the same into the second segment. Thank you.